Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Hey, Dad.
1 second, Tristan. Hey, everybody! I love you too, Tristan. And love you, our listeners. Welcome once again to Super Connectivity. I am your host, Charlie the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the lunatic behind the cape.
Lilith Hellfire? No, Phil Perich.
That's the one. No, Lilith has to work or sleep. One of those two things, because, you know.
She loves to sleep and drink.
Yeah, well, work too. The woman works like a dog, I gotta say. She works too much.
Yep.
She needs to relax, take a vacation, not worry so much about it all, you know. I say that because, you know.
I care.
I care. But anyway, let's talk about other stuff. Let's talk about stuff cares about. Of which Little Hellfire is not one, because everyone cares so much for her. What I want to talk about, let's see here. We'll save the comic books to the end, because, you know, that's the tradition. And got to make people get through the rest of this episode, because they're going to talk Immortal. Oh, got to go to the next one. It's like, no, I'm going to make you wait. Film at 11. I want to talk about, so just one thing I do want to talk about quickly. Wesley Snipes has been cast as the villain in Coming to America. See, they put the 2 in there. So it's the same name as the original, but now it's got a 2.
Branding, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how you do that. Doesn't that work? Yeah, and apparently he is like the junta leader of like the neighboring country to Zamunda. The plot line is going to be that, you know, there is this rivalry between their countries, and there is apparently a plot line where Eddie Murphy is going to America to find his son. You know, very interesting stuff to say the least, especially because, you know, it's a sequel, 40 years later? Has it been 40 years since the 80s?
90s. No, 30.
30 years later. Oh, okay. So it's not that bad. But yeah.
Probably 30 some, because when did that come out? Probably earlier mid 80s, and this is like
82,
2019. So yeah, so it's, I mean, getting
maybe 84,
40. I mean, yeah,
it's been a while. But anyway, so and what struck me as interesting about this both is that, you know, there is going to be this this rivalry between these two rulers, the ruler of Zamunda and the ruler of this other country, played by Wesley Snipes, which, you know, does have shades of Black Panther in it. You have the idea of the heir to the throne being somewhere in America and having to go get him, which again has some shades of what we saw with Killmonger. And it just strikes me that this is a film that's very much going to get compared to Black Panther. And how much it does or does not rhyme with Black Panther is both going to be a credit to it and a curse to it, you know? Because if people say, oh, they're just doing Black Panther, people are going to be down on that. And if they say, oh, it's too much like Black Panther, they're going to be down. Or why aren't they doing what they did in Black Panther, which I thought was cool, you know? It's an interesting dichotomy, I think.
Yeah, but do you think, I mean, there's going to be enough differences because, you know, there's going to have more comedy, and they're not going to have like the more fantastical elements like vibranium, and
we assume. I mean, yeah. What might be interesting, and again, you also have the idea of the closed-off kingdom. You have, you know, stresses without, stresses within, because there also may be issues that you know, Zamunda has fallen on hard times, that maybe the rulership of Zamunda, maybe Eddie Murphy has kind of spent them into a corner with this job, you know. There was actually, it was an Onion article, and I can never find it again, but it was like, you know, revisiting Zamunda, you know, like 20 years later, and it was, you know, about the horrors and devastations of the country. You know, everyone just eats McDonald's hamburgers all the time, and nobody is healthy. It's so it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. You know, I think John Amos is still alive, so he'll get some work out of the deal.
But you got me.
And Arsenio Hall will be back too. So
you got me excited for a second. I thought you were about to say Wesley Snipes is going to play the villain in Blade in the new Blade.
Oh, is he? I don't think so.
No. But I thought that's what I thought. Maybe you saw something. I was like,
no. That would be Darkwing Duck. But yeah, I mean, it would be neat if they do use Wesley Snipes somewhere else in the Marvel universe. But for right now, you know, I'm happy that he's working. I'm happy that he's got a good villain role under his belt, and you know, hopefully he remembers to pay the taxes this time. Sorry, Wesley. Let's hear it. Yes, trying to remember what else was on the list this week. I know we had Haley Atwell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could talk Haley Atwell and the finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 6.
Yeah. So season 7 is coming, and final season. So they say.
They said.
So they say. Yeah, nothing. They have said it before, you know. And we have just wrapped up the final season, so it's all in the can now. Meaning everything that they know, and has been known.
Yeah.
So, and we're dealing with time travel, so we can deal with anything. We can literally do anything in the 5 years now. So we may mention this, yes, you know, and then they snap that thing. Although, as I said in another episode of that, you know, I still wonder how much of a time jump they gave us, because they say it was 1 year, but I actually think it might have been 5. But because they do mention what Sky had been through in the last 5 years. So.
Well, like in that season 6 premiere, I just wondered, didn't they show us a scene in the beginning of the first episode, and then didn't they say 1 year later? So I'm just wondering, they said 1 year after that scene, you know, so that beginning scene was 4 years after the snap, and then they did the
exactly. Well, you know, yeah, exactly. So exactly where we find ourselves, it's open, it's up for debate. But anyway, as it stands, we're going back in time. We go to what is apparently the 1930s, because we see that the Empire State Building is still under construction. However, we're also have a time machine. So where we go in the past and where we go next is completely up. We may have stopped in the 30s, like I said, to do the way before the Cap story. But I don't think we're staying in the 30s. I think we're going to be all over the time stream. I wonder if we are going to run into Kang or Ramatut. That would be a great way to introduce him. Or the Time Variance Authority.
But do you think they would want to do you think they want to introduce? I mean, you could do Time Variance Authority, but do you think they would want to introduce Kang on TV before they do the movies?
They might. You know, I think that we're going to get a lot more connections now.
Yeah,
that's what I've been saying. I do think that, especially since, you know, we are getting Haley Atwell back in this. We had established that Jarvis was the Jarvis from the Peggy Carter series showed up in Endgame. Yep. You know, that these connections are being played out. They are, and they're not going to be afraid of those connections. You know, I think their biggest problem has always been time and timing, but now they have a time machine. So this can all take place wherever the heck they want it to. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they handle the time travel rules that have been established. Mm-hmm. And the big question is going to be, are they going to touch on Cap and Peggy? Because they can create, and this is this idea, they can create an argument where you can go back in time but not create an alternate timeline because you don't alter the timeline significantly enough. And this was something that they did in a Fantastic Four once, where they basically say there's the quantum, dinglehopper that will tell us once we've knocked enough quantums out of their quantum zones, and now it's an alternate timeline. And if we can just keep it within the distortion field, when we move back in time, we won't be affecting the future. So that is the theory. That Doom has one and Reed has one, and everyone else you don't get those. But but usually it's just going back in time. It screws up the timeline unless you're Reed Richards or Dr. Doom and other stories like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a time variance authority basically, have like that an anti-Shield, a group against Shield this season 7.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I thought that's what the Hunters were supposed to be, because you had this whole thing about Leo Fitz is supposed to be dead. He's an anomaly. We have to remove him, because he's existing in two places at once. But once they create the time machine, now they can do what they want to do. But at the same time, they're also not just, as an example, sending the Chronotons back in time to their home planet so they can save it, because maybe that will cause an alternate universe.
Oh, you know what? I know you haven't been watching it, but you might want to watch. The Monday's going to be not only the season 3 finale, but the series finale of Legion, and they've been playing heavily with time travel this season. Like he found the mutant time traveler to take him back in time, and he was trying to stop the Shadow King, because the Shadow King's been messing with him since he's been a baby and stuff. But it's very interesting, because this young girl who's a time traveler, when she can open doors in time, and when she travels through time, it looks like a hallway. She walks down the hallway, and it'll give her 1 year, 2 years, but yeah, and then there's these shadowy, I don't know. If you try to go back in time and you try to mess with stuff, these little shadowy, almost demon things come at you.
The Langoliers come after you. Yes. That is interesting. I haven't been watching Legion. Legion is one of these things. It's like the Agents of Atlas book. I would love to watch it. I would love to read that book, but at a certain. And then it's not even the money issue. It's just the time. Because honestly, this was the first week I actually read all my comic books before we got to record.
Wow.
Yes. Again, we're recording on a Saturday, and everyone says, "Oh, you have more time than everybody else." When I was unemployed, I'm not that anymore. But I need that extra day, man, because I might not even pick up my books until Thursday. And and I'm not on the bus anymore, so I have to read them when I'm not driving, which is less fun. But I got through all my books, including Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and she gets out of hell, and we find out her guide.
What is that, number 8?
That was number 8. Her guide was divine all along. Yes, so that was lovely, and we found out that she was the one who pushed herself into the coffin to start the time loop. So. It's all really fun. I mean, I really, I love Elvira. I love everything about the character. I love the way that they play with her. And of course, you get the big reveal in this that essentially, the denizens of hell are the ones who built it, not the devil. It's like everyone just makes their own hell. And that's why no one ever thinks to just drive off of the eternal traffic of the, stuck freeway of what is it? Was it the 4th circle, 5th circle? I don't know. It was one of the circles, but yeah. Great book. I just love Elvira. She is so fun and delightful. And
so issue 8, is that an ongoing then?
I believe so, because I think there's another one coming.
Oh, that's cool.
There's 2 Elvira series out right now. One is The Shape of Elvira, and so next one is called. So this was the end of Elvira's Inferno. Next is Vroom Vroom, which is. So yeah.
I just asked because
it
just seems like a lot of times when they do those licensed properties and stuff and characters, a lot of times they just do limited series.
Yeah, but apparently there's going to be another one. But like I said, they have 2 right now. They have The Shape of Elvira, which is sort of a Shape of Water kind of story, where she's got a merman that she's hanging out with. It's a good story, but this was the superior Elvira book.
Very good.
Yeah. Yes, and then what else? So we talked at there was something about what were we going to talk? Oh yeah, apparently, and of course, speaking of time travel, apparently it has been confirmed that Cap told Bucky that he was going to go into the past and stay with Peggy.
Well, they said it seems like he told him something. They just don't know how detailed of an explanation he gave him.
Yeah.
I would assume he at least told him, that I'm going to hand off the shield. So, I mean, I don't know if he told him he was going to spend a lifetime, and then come back, but I think he at least told him, hey, I'm going to hand the shield to Sam and not you.
Yeah. No, that's appropriate. Honestly, Bucky didn't want the shield. He never wanted the shield. Sam doesn't really want the shield, but Sam respects the shield in a way that I don't think Bucky would.
Bucky's been messed with in the head and stuff. And I mean, even though, he hasn't aged like Steve Rogers has aged, remember, Bucky is a 95-year-old guy too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I still say my actual theory remains that Cap put himself into a time loop, and that actually when we see him at the end, it's actually just because he had aged too much and he can't go back anymore, Because if he puts himself back into the ice to be discovered and just lives that Mariah McTarget time loop over and over again, where he keeps on going, he's going to get older every time. And so he might have been, everyone says, well, why should he have aged? Isn't he supposed to not age? And it's like, well, maybe he did it more than once,
I just think he sat there with Peggy and he didn't mess with anything because he didn't want to create that alternate timeline.
Yeah, but he would have, because he sat there with Peggy, and
but there was still him in the ice who came out and did everything he did before.
I know, but it's also 1945, so he actually goes back before the events of the Peggy Carter series. So there's a whole life there that is altered from the established universe we've seen.
Oh, wait a second. Did he go back to 1945? Have we confirmed the exact point he went back?
We don't, but we see that it's 40s cars that are driving on the road. We don't see anything that is from the 50s or later.
Yeah.
So, you could argue, well, cars last a while, so you could have, there were cars from the 40s through the 60s, you would see those, but they wouldn't have looked as brand spanking new as these cars.
Yeah.
These were clearly brand new cars, and they were definitely from the 40s. So it looks like he went right back to where he left to get that date, and then again, like I said, we don't know that he spent a lifetime with Peggy Carter. I mean, have they said he spent a lifetime with Peggy Carter, or do we just know that he had the dance?
Yeah, but if he's not out there fighting or anything, where else would he go if he's not coming back to the prison until he's an old man?
Well, maybe he's having other adventures. First off, who says he's not fighting?
Well, true.
It's entirely possible. You could even make the argument that he actually did try to stop a lot of this stuff, but that he found he couldn't.
I just like the theory, and he was sitting there. He was the house husband, so Peggy Carter could go out there and do her thing.
Yeah, I don't buy
shield eventually. So
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, for him to do that, I think it causes problems.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer that it is an alternate timeline, and he did everything he wanted to do. He saved Shield, he got Bucky out, and made the world a better place. Maybe ran for president in that universe and was eventually President Rogers. And we may see that if they go to an alternate timeline, because now that Shield can go back and forth in time, where they're going to go next.
Yeah, are we going to see alternate timeline? Are they going to do alternate timelines, but are they going to do like a quantum leap thing where like things have gone wrong and they have to fix them or something? Or
I mean, anything's possible. We don't know what they're going to do yet. But like I said, I don't think they're going to stay in the 30s.
No.
I mean, they might. And for what it's worth, there are a set of 30s heroes that they could encounter. Not only guys from the 12, but also there was another series of Marvel heroes they did a little while ago that were like the pre-40s heroes that were like but they made up their own Pulp Fiction heroes. And one was... there's just a lot of great magical heroes. There's one super science guy.
Was that like the Black Marvel, or was he in the 40s?
No, he was the Blue Marvel. The Blue Marvel was the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah, the Blue Marvel came after and was in the 50s and the 60s because he was around with President Kennedy. Because President Kennedy asks him to step down because he was afraid America couldn't handle a black Superman.
Oh,
tough.
What? We still haven't mentioned about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, it's taken 7 seasons, but they finally gave us our LMD Coulson.
Yes. Coulson is back as an LMD, and I get the feeling that he knows he's an LMD.
Oh yeah, I just wonder where his memories begin.
Well, they said they have all of his old memories.
Okay.
And they've updated him with what's happened since.
So up to the moment of his death, basically, he remembers everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, yeah. They got devices for that. We see that, and we also see that the bad guys had Coulson's black box.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to see if they have time travel too. Are they going to be an antagonist in this? Do they have time travel? Why don't they just go back to their home planet? It's complicated. But they've got to go back in time, I guess, to defeat the bad guys, is the idea. So, or to save S.H.I.E.L.D. from whatever they're going to do to S.H.I.E.L.D. Whatever happens next. This new alien invasion.
May's basically frozen because she got stabbed.
Yeah, well, you have to, but they'll bring her back next season.
Mm-hmm.
Put her into her, 65 degrees, and then we'll bring her back and...
Okay.
With science.
You know what I didn't understand? The whole Fitzsimmons thing. Did they get physically altered, or they just have their brains been
Well, she makes the point that she doesn't know where Fitz is because she can't know where Fitz is. So obviously there is an issue in this about how much they can alter the timeline. And which is why I think they will address the whole Peggy Cap question here, because they will say, if you go back and there are certain things you can do, but if you bring knowledge with you, it will alter the timeline. Which is what the whole thing with Cap going back in time is that because he has to bring that knowledge with him. He can't not bring the knowledge because that would alter the timeline. There's, there's a funny sketch out there about Peggy and Cap around the dinner table, and she keeps on asking him all these little pointed questions.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, It's like, should we invest in Amazon or this other company? It's like, I don't know. So yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna like the Coulson LMD. I'm gonna like to see where it goes with it. It is weird to have him be an LMD now, but
he could have what else? He could have super strength. He could have run. You see him running it up next to a car or something. Be like, pull over.
Yeah, he's a superhero now. LMD Coulson, just like that LMD that Deadpool hangs out with. It makes you wonder if Coulson in the Avengers now is an LMD. Or maybe he always was.
Oh, yeah.
The evil Coulson that we got. With the evil,
I think that's all Mephisto shenanigans, though. But yeah.
Yeah. It's all crazy. But, I mean, that's that. That's what we're dealing with now. Season 7 is on the way. We have time travel. We don't have any rules for it yet. It's definitely a different method of time travel than the Hulk uses, because basically they went around the horn in a different way. The whole going to the quantum level to move through time creates its own bag of hammers. So we'll have to see if using what is essentially a space travel device to travel through the time dimension has different rules applied to it. So.
They didn't announce when it's coming, right? Because, I mean, is it going to be summer again like season 6 was?
Yeah, I think they said it's going to be soon. Okay. So, no, actually, I think it might be
the fall?
Spring.
Oh, spring?
Yeah, spring or fall, I mean, they already finished shooting.
Oh, yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Then.
Why wait, I mean, that's the thing is, why wait? It's, I would love to see where they go with it. But, I do think it's going to be back sooner rather than later.
Cool.
You want to talk our comics?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do... Are you not going to play the tune?
Oh, sorry. I usually just do that for capes, but no, I can do it.
Phil's Comics Corner.
Oh, I thought you did that every time we talk comics. Okay. Anyway, welcome back. So let's talk Immortal Hulk. That was the one we didn't get
22.
to. That's one they've been waiting for. We've got... I like this. I like Tatiana, and I like Absorbing Man so much in this.
Mm-hmm.
And especially Absorbing Man being like, man, I've been clean for so long, and that guy shot me full of heroin.
Yep.
That's uncool, man, And we do see that freaking Fortran's a freaking abomination now.
The giant hand.
Just ridiculous.
Giant hand for a head, yeah.
Yeah. And then we see poor old Rick Jones. He's trying to pull himself back together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going well.
Get more.
And we see that Betty is all human, but when Bruce knocks on the door, who answers the door, Phil?
Oh, Red Harpy or whatever she is now.
Yeah, Red Harpy. Yeah, the Harpy.
We get more Joe Fixit in Banner's body.
Oh yeah, which I love. And again, just this, we're all the same person, man. But like, he's Sunshine.
I know that he looks up at the sun. He's like, huh, Sunshine Joe. What a concept.
Yeah. And he goes to talk to McGee, and I like the way they're playing Joe. He's fun. He's delightful.
Mm.
Did you see what the name of the motel is?
No, what?
Senate.
Oh.
Yeah, you always got to put your creator tags in these things. So got to honor the past, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it, and then I like how they find out where the where Fortran is.
Oh yeah, Samson and Alpha Flight, or yeah.
Well, no, but Rick Jones tells them, and then
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, but he's all glowing, and I thought that was cool because it kind of reminds me of a lot of things. But there was one sort of where what if the Banner persona was where basically after he gets exposed to the gamma radiation, he actually like the best parts of him become this like shining figure of light, and then just the evil Banner is like the dominant personality, and it's cool. But yeah, then they use because Fortran co-located to them, so they can now co-locate to him. But of course, Fortran has freaking seers, so yeah, we can see. We knew you were coming. We knew before you knew.
He's like, haha, I can ambush you, but then the Hulk drops in at the end. Yes.
And by the way, I just gotta say this: green blood out the nose. It just looks like boogers.
It does.
It just looks like he's running boogers out his nose.
They're trying to say gamma, but yeah, it does look like snot.
It's gamma boogers, man, is what it is. It's his brain melting, And then of course the Hulk shows up because the seers can see, but they can't see the Hulk. Because if they could see the Hulk, they wouldn't have had to have a whole, gamma base to look for him.
Oh, no, what else I liked? I mean, we still haven't got the second part, but they did mention Hulk going to that tropical island in Fantastic Four.
Oh, yes, I did like that, I don't know, he's off doing his own thing. He's off fighting the thing. He was in Chicago, they said. So, what book is he in Chicago in right now?
I don't know. But, Joe's even, Joe and Banner's body's even wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, which I liked. Well, he's Sunshine Joe, man.
Oh, no.
I would love to see the Hulk in a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we just need the scene with Banner and like the Gray Hulk's body and be like, now who's Puny Joe?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like I said, first off, there's no reason Banner can't have the strength. He doesn't have to change bodies. It's just his own mental illness.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why are there set rules? I'm like, why can't we get like Banner in a Hulk's body and just anybody, any of them can be in any of the bodies.
The fact of the matter is, Phil, we always get Banner in the Hulk body.
I know, but I'm just saying.
That's the point.
Why can't we just get any of the personalities in any of the bodies?
Yeah, well, maybe they're going to do that more. Let's see here. Did you read Invisible Woman?
Not yet. Again, that's another one that I want to get to. But here, spoil me.
Okay, well, it's interesting because, of course, the basic plotline is we have Invisible Woman and her fellow spy handler by the name of Aiden Tanchirin or something like that. And he realizes that they're watching the suitcase swap, and they realize that no, it's not a suitcase swap. That guy's an assassin, and he gave the guy a bomb. And the Invisible Woman invisibly knocks him down and takes the suitcase and probably puts a force shield around it. And then you have them hanging out here, and he's talking about his mythical perfect wife. I remember this is 8 years ago. his mythical perfect wife. He says she has red hair and freckles. Her name is something Irish. Yada yada yada. Flash forward, we got Black Widow and Sue Richards going into Madripoor, as you do, to try and track down what happened to Aiden. And Black Widow's kind of being kind of dismissive, like, oh, this is the spy world, you know. And, you know, which is sort of like, you know, first off, not knowing that Sue Storm has been doing this spy stuff for a long time, and all this kind of stuff. And they have to have a drinking contest to get the information from the bad guy. And of course, you know, he has the sumo wrestler be his proxy, and then Sue has to drink him under the table. And then, of course, she stacks up the shots and defeats the guy. And then they say, actually, he's poisoned and you'll be dead too in a few minutes. And then she's like, no, I didn't drink any of it. I just turned all the whiskey invisible. As you do, they go to interrogate him. Someone shoots him. They chase the guy down. And, you know, she's using all her special invisible powers so she can, like, see through everything. Although that would be freaky if you were in that building and suddenly everything turned invisible.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they go to catch him, but the guy kills the driver and he gets away. But he has a dossier on Aiden Tentrich, and we find out that mystery woman he was talking about, that was actually his wife for the last 15 years. So everything's a lie when you are dealing with spies. So it's a fun book. That's next issue. All the ladies love Sue Storm. Next issue, really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. You know, I think the Invisible Woman has a good story in this.
Yeah. I'll fire through one or two real quick. You were saying Tristan was reading Marvel Zombies. I don't know if he would like Deceased.
Well, now, are they actual zombies, or are they just like what was the anti-life equation?
It's basically the anti-life equation, but I mean, they're basically zombies. They're like, you know, they're like trying to eat people, and you know, it's basically they are zombies. It's just the origin of the disease is kind of different, but yeah.
Well, you know, one of the things that Tristan really got interested because he was watching YouTube's breakdowns of the Marvel zombie story, and he found that basically when the zombies stop eating people, they stop being crazy, and that, you know, that the zombies actually do get these redemption arcs in the story. And, you know, there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on, and Tristan, he's really into the mythos of it. So, you know, I guess my question is does it have a mythos that is equal to what was done in the Marvel Zombies, where you actually have real explorations of who these zombies are and how the Marvel characters behave once they become zombies. There's a whole thing about about zombie head Hawkeye, and, you know, he cries when we leave him alone. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's not that in depth. It's just like basically if you look at a monitor or a screen, you can be turned.
Okay.
Oh, but no, what I was going to say, Black Cat #3. I know I've been keep going on about this series. It's the conclusion of her and her crew were trying to break into Doctor Strange's house, and like the mystic they brought with them to help them basically becomes like the big menace. But no, you might like this one. You know, Bats the ghost dog is in this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Bats.
And he's actually helping her because he's like, wait, I know who you are. You're Silver Sable. And he's like, oh yeah, and these are my wild pack. Yeah, so you could help us. So then at the end, there's like some other mystical creature in the house after they leave, and Bats is like, that was Silver Sable, and the creature's like, no, that wasn't. That was the Black Cat. And Bats is like, oh no. And then like Strange comes home and the house is all a mess, and he's like, what happened? And Bats is like, I don't know. We're just stupid animals here. I don't know what happened.
Oh, that does sound fun.
But then issue 4, guess where she's going to try to break into in issue 4?
I would guess the Baxter Building.
Yancey Street.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They no longer own the Baxter Building. They sold it.
Yep.
There's a new team of superheroes in there now. She's going to try and break into 4 Yancey. See, I don't think that's going to end well.
It might. It might not.
You know? Yes. Did you read Savage Avengers?
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up. Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So I don't even remember when Venom goes into space in this. Was that last issue? Did he get I don't know.
I don't know. Did we even see Venom go into space in this series?
Yeah, well, it was interesting, but we have Dragon Venom, which Tristan talked about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that I guess is what's his name? Eddie Brock, Dragon Venom. And we have to defeat the Marrow God and all that kind of stuff. But the Marrow God can feel pain. That's good. That's useful. And yeah, the evil wizard was Garth. He brings Frank's family back to life, but they're actually just demons.
Yeah,
demons in skin suits, and that freaks out poor old Frank.
Dr. Voodoo has to break the spell, and it's like, oh, sorry. He's like, but they had gotten their grip into you. It would have been way harder to unbound you to those demons.
Yeah, and apparently, so for those worried that Conan with the symbiote was going to be a permanent thing, Venom basically says, he says, "Who has enslaved the symbiote?" And he's like, saying to, to Conan, why the hell is there a symbiote on a nude weightlifter? It says, "This creature is not yours to possess." It says, "Back, dragon, or you shall feel my wrath."
Yes.
This creature was trapped. I freed it. It's spending what little life it has left repairing the damage to your body. If that is true, then Crom's will is done through this genie. Who's Crom? He was a... Oh, I like that. Who's Crom? He was a space knight, right? Anyway, that sword is coming with me. Anyway, yes, Crom, space knight. But so obviously this thing is going to keep Conan alive.
Yes.
As we wander through this issue, and won't be dead yet. And
does it seem? Maybe it's just this issue, but does it seem like to you that maybe Elektra is going to be team leader of this team?
Yeah. Well, she obviously is. Hey, Conan's not really leadership material. Although he has led gangs of people in the past. He's a lone thief. He's a loner.
Yeah,
like Wolverine.
I was gonna say I don't see anyone else on this team except for maybe Dr. Voodoo being leadership material.
Yeah. Now, is Dr. Voodoo is he still dating Scarlet Witch?
Last I knew, unless either they changed it in something I didn't read, or No.
It's good. I just wonder because I wonder if they're gonna because the Drum family were introduced in Doctor Strange. This leads into, I wonder if we're going to get a Wanda Dr. Voodoo storyline.
I just wonder, I just wonder if they're saving Wanda just because as we get closer to that series, if they're going to launch like a Scarlet Witch, her own book again or something.
Oh, yeah. I imagine so. And
if there is something with her and Vision in that Disney Plus series, I wonder if they're going to get those two back together because for some reason they like to make the comics look more like the live action stuff.
Yeah, but again, we don't know what.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what's going to happen, but
TV show, yeah. But I think there's no reason for Shuri not to repair the Vision.
Oh no.
Yeah, as she said, why did you do it this way? It's like,
you got Shuri. Tony Stark's gone, but you got Banner who worked on the Vision originally with him, right?
Mm-hmm. And Shuri, and any other number, and other Doctor who also actually built the Vision from Ultron's schematics. Is actually a lot of people in this. Yeah, Tony Stark, he was a brilliant guy, but he's. As Rocket said, you're only the smartest person on this planet. That was actually kind of controversial, as small internet controversies go. Is like someone at the Mary Sue wrote a thing about she couldn't buy that. I think it was a she. It might have been a he, but I think most of the writers are female. Couldn't buy that Rocket was Tony Stark level genius, and basically in the comment section was like, did you even watch anything Rocket does? It's like, yeah, he's clearly meant to be a super genius. He's got He's got freaking cybernetically enhanced brain.
And I mean, he's he's always doing stuff with the equipment, and yeah, just because he likes to shoot big guns doesn't mean he's not smart. I mean,
yeah. Well, and made the point. It's like, oh, he mostly makes bombs and is super reckless. Yeah, just like Tony Stark.
I forget. I saw he had a line somewhere. I forget if it was in the Guardians of the Galaxy comic or me and Luca were catching up on the animated series, but there was somewhere where Rocket's like, it's so hard being the smartest one on this team.
Yes, well, but there you go. We don't need a new Tony Stark. We have Rocket Raccoon. He's snarky. He's brilliant. He has a lot of heart, and he makes big explosion stuff. So, and he's a little morally ambiguous. So I think we won't miss Tony at all.
There you.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I think Peter just because this is like, oh boy, my second father figure.
Yeah.
They either die or betray me, or it's the Parker curse, man. If you're a father figure to Peter Parker, you're gonna die.
I mean,
be safe, Pappy. Be safe. Be safe and be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tony Stark was probably going out anyway, but isn't that weird? Like they had to give him another Uncle Ben figure because they don't, for some reason, they're not mentioning Uncle Ben in the MCU.
Well, I mean. Again, they just don't want to have to retread it again.
I get, yeah.
And it's like, Uncle Ben was certainly central to he and May's life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we don't need another origin story, but they can't just throw out one line. It's like like we were saying in the first one when he's going to the dance and she's helping him with his tie. Couldn't throw out a line. Oh, I miss your uncle. He would have loved to be here for this. Yeah, me too. Boom.
Yeah, but just to annoy you, Phil. That's why they don't do it.
There's some reason, and I don't know what the reason is.
I honestly think it's because it becomes too much of a crutch, perhaps. That maybe they felt it's too much that every 5 minutes Peter Parker has to mention
Power and Respect.
Uncle Ben in the comic books. Like, oh, well, my Uncle Ben. It's like, dude, okay, we get it. You loved your uncle. We all have someone in our lives that we care deeply about. That can't be your entire motivation, your entire raison d'etre.
Yeah.
You gotta, and this was a great analysis of Batman I was reading recently, which is like, that if you only think of Batman as, the dark reflection of the Joker, as just a crazy guy in a bat suit, you miss the point that he dresses as a bat, which is a little bit nutty, but really it's about he is a person who's dedicated himself to being a protector of the powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, his parents were killed, but the trauma of his parents' death is not as important as the fact that that's his motivation to be a better hero, to protect those who he's not just driven mad by his tragedy. It's not, one bad day that turns him into a Batman. It's that's what inspires him to be a better person and to do to make a better world. So,
mm-hmm.
But that's one theory on it. And of course, in the thing I was reading that was on Trope Talk was did a lot of good digs at Alan Moore. So, so I loved it.
I'm sure you did.
Anything else you want to talk about this week?
No, just besides the fact, I mean, Lois Lane #2 is out this week. I mean, a really good series, but again, no codes.
No codes, yeah. Well, so is she any closer to revealing that Gus Gorman is in fact the Leviathan?
No, but this was only issue 2. It's like a 12-issue series, so.
And that's the central premise. This is where we're going to get the reveal of who Leviathan is, right?
I don't know. I mean,
because she's like chasing down Leviathan, right?
Well, no. I mean, they have her. I mean, there's some kind of conspiracy going on, but I don't think they haven't said it's Leviathan. I mean, right now it looks like there's some kind of governmental conspiracy, or like there was some senator she was trying to get on the record, and then he got killed. So,
yeah, as you do. Okay, so well, that's good. So Lois Lane #2, no codes, but
DC was for a while they were putting codes in their #1s, and then they were just putting them in the annuals. But yeah, nothing. They're not giving any codes out now.
Yeah, well, it's restructuring. I think they're being penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah, I mean they're charging.
They're not finding ways to
codes.
engage. Yeah, well, because Marvel knows it's a good way to engage your listener base, or your reading base. Because yes, people will swap codes and people will share accounts just like Netflix. But you know what? All those eyeballs are actually a good tool for you. It's Netflix and HBO, they don't want people sharing their codes, but they also know it's a cost of doing business. And the more people they can get engaging with their content, the more valuable their content becomes.
And it's like if you go out and buy like a Blu-ray now, I mean, you get a code with that.
Yeah.
It's just like, at least Marvel can say, hey, we gave you extra content. We gave you the book in 2 different versions for that price. I mean, DC can't say.
Well, yeah. Well, DC, like I said, it's not a good business model especially because they gave it and they took it away. And remember, like Marvel took the codes away and then they just right away brought them right back.
Well, they didn't even take them away. I mean, they were still giving you codes, but they weren't for that book. Remember, they were giving you codes for different books.
Yeah, which nobody wanted.
Yeah, nobody wanted, but at least they didn't like completely take away all codes.
Yeah, but again, the idea was that people wanted to have a code they could share with their friends, a book, so that if you got it, you could, that's the thing. And here's the thing: in the digital content world, you have to have a situation where people can have that kind of cross-country communication to share what they have.
It just seems weird because it's like, does it cost DC anything more to put a code in the book? And it's like your major competitors doing it in every book.
Yeah, there is obviously a slightly higher printing cost, but they're all raising the prices of their books anyway. So
yeah,
it's like it is what it is, and more to the point, it's a cost, but it has a value. It's not a lot. It's not a cost for nothing.
Yeah.
But this is DC. This is the choices DC is making. And they're not even writing good zombies. So what do you want? Okay. You want to get out of here,
Sure.
Phillip? Okay. So, Philip, if people would like to talk to you about bad business choices DC makes, or if they want to defend DC's choices to take away codes and not allow to have social interaction amongst their people on the internet, how can they reach you?
If you want to get a hold of me personally, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter @nightwingpdp. And you can always follow Capes and Lunatics and Super Connectivity on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Capes and Lunatics on Instagram, just everywhere. And again, if anyone from DC wants to come and explain their business model, they're more than welcome.
Yes. You can even call up and leave a message.
Oh, yeah, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
And leave a message for the show, and we will play it on the air. And everyone can hear your brilliant ideas live and in person. Okay, and of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, and there's something to live tweet @Charlie Esser. That's CHARLIE ESLCR, but to the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Super Connectivity for this week. Please be sure to super connect with us once again next. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, you know what I forgot to talk about?
What?
Glow.
Oh.
Glow is back. So something else I got to
save it. It's not like we never come back and talk.
I know. I got to tell you, though, Mark Maron, he should be Reed Richards. Fight me, nerd. It's like Keaton as Batman, man. Nobody sees it, but if you saw it, you'd see it.